I'll pay. Just look, the amount of money that you actually spend on weed, even if weed is more than it is now, in comparison to alcohol, it's not even comparable.
Yeah, right.
Especially if you like to drink expensive shit. Like Clase Azul tequila or something, or some old scotch. That shit's really expensive.
Yeah, right.
For like $50, how many drinks can you get?
Well, have you
know
seen
how high you can get with $50?
Have you seen those like $1,000 joints? Speaking of joints, you ever see that with
$1,000 joints?
Yeah, I'll see videos pop up online where it'll be like, I can't remember who it was some rapper, and they were showing him joints that were like 40,000. It was crazy.
What?
Yeah, did you?
What is it?
You know what I'm talking about, Jamie? There's
2 Chainz does this here.
Oh, that's what it was. It was 2 Chainz. Yeah,
$24,000 joint.
The most expensive.
That's pretty big though, actually.
Oh, is it made with gold? Is that what it is?
Definitely wrapped in gold.
Oh, so you're smoking gold.
That's good for you, probably.
For a good cause, though. He created that weed for a good cause.
What was the cause?
To get fucked up.
I'm sure they're donating.
And
all
then
that
they
money,
donate the money to the African Wildlife Foundation.
Doesn't mining the gold for the rapper probably harm wildlife more than?
Well, this is separate from that one.
Oh,
what is that one?
Actually, the one he smoked was $50K,
Oh my God!
and I don't know why.
So look at this. He's gonna open it up. Luxury. Those are $50K. Those Coronas.
Maybe.
What?
I mean, I'm sure they explain why, but it might not make sense.
It's $420. That's all. 12 grams of flour.
because probably they build up to one that's
Yeah,
50 grand.
I like how the real potheads call it flour. 12 grams of flour.
Oh, I know that really. I remember being like, I'm not calling it cannabis. It used to be a thing like a guy with a ponytail would say to you,
Yes.
and now it's
Plant medicine. It's plant medicine, man.
I'm harvesting the cannabis.
I'm getting all my flowers.
But I'll tell you what's great about California is I always meet some cool person that grows a lot. That just hooks me up.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of good growers. But that's the thing about the cannabis business. A lot of fucking really cool people involved in the cannabis business.
Yeah.
Because they're selling cannabis. So they're getting high all the time. So they're really kind of cool and passionate.
Well, a good friend of mine, who I won't say, but back in New York, who ended up having a pretty good cannabis business. And there was something like he was like working with the city government on the down low because to see about legalizing, they work with people. New York has all those deliveries. And that delivery of weed scene was like pretty surprisingly violent to me, of like bicycle guys like that. What's that HBO show, High Maintenance, about a guy who delivers weed on his bike? Half Baked was all about that. The delivery. Like he had to get a friend to be his bodyguard and stuff, that people get stabbed. And I remember going like, wow, there's all that over weed? He goes, no, it's over money. I go, oh, right.
Of course.
I didn't even, it's just weed, man.
Well, you remember when Denver made it legal, but then they couldn't do business with credit cards? Because banks didn't want to do business with them, so they had to do business in cash. And then they had to take the cash, and they had to multiple times a day drive with the cash to the bank. So they hired like SEALs and like mercenaries to fucking ride with them.
And these banks, by the way, were later caught taking cartel money for much worse drugs. Every single thing, all the Epstein.
Well, they took the money, I think, but they wouldn't do business with credit cards. Credit card companies wouldn't do business with it.
The nerve
because
of a credit
federally,
card.
I think the idea is that federally it's still illegal. I don't know. I think they've
maybe
relaxed
that is,
now. Find out if you can.
Wait, that probably makes legal sense though, because if you could get busted at any minute.
Everywhere I've been, the way that if you use a card, it's still doing some weird thing where you're paying somebody else and then they're paying them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
you're paying somebody else.
They do some weird transaction where like you pay $5 extra and they accept you text them the number and whatever the fuck. What
are we doing? It's 2022. This is ridiculous. Just tax it.
In fact, I used to say that. Now I'm like, maybe let's make sure you know what California has completely fucked that up. Do you know how the illegal market is now? I guess like bigger than the legal market, which is surprising to me.
Well, because it's also a misdemeanor. I had this guy, John Norris, who wrote this book about it's called Hidden War.
Yeah.
And it's about how their cartels are growing weed on public forestry. They go to public forest land, like in the fucking California mountains and shit.
Yeah.
And they set up these grow ops and they grow weed and they stay there and they camp there and they're using these fucking like seriously dangerous pesticides and herbicides and the shit gets in the water supply.
Well, they're also like to even go into business, the way it's, I think all these places when they legalize it want to have like a monopoly that's in cozy with like whatever politician is putting it through, because they make it hard. You have to have like half an illegal grow to support your legal grow, because you have to have so many, I don't know, power, however they measure it, to legally be able to do it. And it's made that way on purpose to make sure it's like only like a real big money place can do it.
I'm not exactly sure what you mean. Like what?
There's a whole Vice thing about it. They had something for prisoners in LA, like it's like black prisoners released from the drug war stuff where they get first dibs on getting licensed to grow.
Jesus.
And so, I mean, if you got caught...
Imagine getting arrested for something and then you get first dibs on the license to grow it legally. What the fuck did you arrest me for?
They should get that, by the way. I don't have any issue with that. But guess what? They can't get it. It's even fucked up for them. It's so... They just fucked it up. California stinks, dude. They can't... I don't have like kids or a house there or anything, so I don't... It's no skin off my... But I don't know what the hell, like...
There's a lot of regulations, that's for sure. But there's so much money from that legal cannabis. Like, how much good has that done? I mean, what is the... I'd like to know, like, what's the benefit? What's the cost benefit for the state for having it legal? Like, how much... I mean, California must make a lot of money.
Yeah, where does it all go?
They're taxing the shit out of it? What's the annual amount of money marijuana brings in tax?
2020 to 2021 fiscal year, California collected about $817 million.
I like the homeless.
That's a good chunk. But what is that?
I don't think that includes the local taxes, which is different too. And then there's like an excise tax. I have no idea what that is. There's like 3 taxes on it.
Oh.
Which is why there's a bunch of articles. I can't get past the paywall to see it right now. I'm trying to. That's saying exactly what he's saying, that the illegal market over the last year has jumped up a bunch.
Because of that?
Yeah.
Because you tax the shit out of it.
Well, they don't... the homeless...
What I was getting at, though, let me finish that before I forget. The reason why the cartels grow on forest land is because it's legal here. It's just a misdemeanor.
Oh, so is that right?
Yeah. So if you're growing illegally, it's not like a gigantic penalty.
Yeah, wow.
Make sure that's true. I know that was true at one point in time, but if you're caught growing marijuana illegally in California, it's a misdemeanor.
You're causing a stampede at the border right now.
I think they're so lenient about it because it is legal to grow it in the state, and so there's some weird fucking reason why they decided to do it there. I think he said something like 90% of the illegal weed.
You can grow up to 6 plants, but the law makes it a misdemeanor if you grow in excess of that.
Yeah, so that's illegal cultivation of marijuana. Although adults 21 and older are now permitted to grow up to 6 plants. So if you grow more than 6 plants, the law makes it a misdemeanor offense. That's it. A conviction is punishable by